Evening guys, bit of an update. It's alright, nobody was actually sleeping here. It's actually I brought it down from upstairs to get rid of it and then the kids decided to sit on it. So, so this is nearly ready for the kitchen, which was supposed to start Monday. It's been a little bit delayed, so we'll wait and see where the guys are, because they need to come back and actually start fitting this. If they don't, I'll start fitting it myself. I put one of these bigger sockets in today as well, and this is actually the new connection for the doorbell. Don't worry about that, because I'm going to actually strip the wall and then we're going to replaster it. TV unit will be coming across here and up, so that's going in soon. And obviously air conditioning is going over there. But the other thing is, we're really happy with the ceiling being nice and smooth. So we're going to strip all the walls and redo that. I think we're finished on the sockets here, because there isn't a lot power usage on here. It's just multipliers, in the sense of you got your TV, internet connection, doorbell, what else have we got on there? Alexandra. No, it's Alexa and the Google one as well. Yeah, we've got Alexa and we've got the Hey Google thingy doobry. So they're not high voltage, but I've seen that and I thought that's a quick and easy way of doing it. It saves me chiseling the wall out. So I bought one of those today. It's €20. As you can see, I have this obsession. Once I start, I've got to carry on. But hence I'm back tonight. Now, where's my bottle? Don't know where I put it. But anyway, I've got a Ring doorbell. So the Ring doorbell will be connected to the Ring security system, which they're all Amazon products. This is the new router, and that's the Ring alarm bell. And then there's other bits and pieces in there from Ring. So our security system will all be connected through the phones and have monitoring. There's a camera on the actual alarm. On the doorbell, there'll be cameras in the rooms as well, not the bedrooms. There'll be sensors on those though. Because I know, before somebody mentioned it, I do know they got hacked. So we'll leave that one at that. But the main thing is, as long as it works, I'm not too fast, because people want to sit and watch me watching TV. I'm really not that bothered. Now, guys ain't been in this week, which is bugging me a little bit. Bathroom's ready. In the sitting room downstairs is obviously the new bowl that's going to go in there. I've sort of left that for the guys to do. We've got the shower downstairs as well. This is good to go. I put this together the other day. If you've seen on my Instagram, I sort of put a stop motion of all this going together. That's the sink, cabinet, the bidet for the toilet seats in the box. Where's the guys? I want this finished today. I'm hoping they're back tomorrow, because the plaster's dried out downstairs, so they should be here. Switch this on. That's it. You can see, bathroom's nearly there. One of the issues we had is upstairs. There's actually a problem where if there's a water leak, it comes straight through here. Me thinking logically, we'll go upstairs and have a look at it. Got to put a vent here. And the reason being is if it does leak, guess where it's going? Straight down, straight into the drain. So I know it's a water problem. At the same time, it's not destroying the house. But if we head up here, it's hot. We head up here. So these have got a habit of bursting. I don't want that sink, so that won't be there. But what we'll do is put drainage in there. And basically what happens, if that bursts, the water's going to go straight through, straight into the shower tray and gone. But it also means when we box this in, that's what the timber's for. We're going to make a frame from that edge down across. There's like this, it's like a polycarbonate finish. I'm going to go out here and I'll flip the camera around so we can have a talk the other way around. The dog isn't barking too much down the stairs. Not my dog, neighbours. But that'll become an enclosed cupboard. I'm using polycarbonate, so if it does ever have any water issues, guess what? It's plastic. But I'm tempted to do the whole room, so it sort of becomes closed off. Obviously we've got that door going in there, we've got the window going in here. I might see how far I can push it, put a big window in there, sort of that size over there would be ideal. Because guess what, if you got sea views, use them. Oh, I didn't introduce you to these guys. So April was sort of complaining to me, why am I getting plants? Because we'll have a look, and I'm like, because I love plants. It's an obsession I have. This is my pomelo, and this little guy here, he's not my grapes, is he? I haven't got my glasses on. I think that's my, one of these is lemon and one of them's lime. So either it's him, or vice versa. And that's our grapes. So that'll be downstairs, going up around where the hot tub's going. So the house is actually getting there. Like I said, it's a lot slower than I would like. So let me flip the camera around, let's have a chat. So alright guys, it's been a little bit windy, a little bit rainy for the last 3 days. And I say little bit because it's almost like a dripping shower. You know, it's not really raining, it's not dry, it's just sort of this little almost no effort of rain. It's all like, we're gonna rain but I can't be bothered. It's one of those types of rain. But it's great to be home. Oh look, we've got the sunset in the background as well. I've got my t-shirt on. Any points for guessing what the show is? But yeah, it's been great to be back. I'm looking forward to these finding comfort of being in their new home. I'm looking forward to actually finishing downstairs. Like I said, I'm going to probably strip some of that tonight. Got a short socket at the house as well, the other house, because one of the original sockets from the 80s has burnt out. To be fair, April plugged the heater in over the winter, so I'm doing a free of charge replacement on the socket. But we're getting there. Not as fast as I would like. Oh, I forgot to share the one thing. Guys come today. Solar water heater's going up there. So solar water heater, it's another reason I'm creating the cupboard, is going on the top. I've got 160 litres, which is more than enough. Because what you'll get is 160 litres on the roof. That then feeds into this tank. So what we do is we sort of loop it through. So they'll come down straight through the roof, connect it here, and that means you've got the 160 on the roof plus this. But what I want to do is loop it from the roof into this feed here. So basically you'll loop it in the cold side, so that this is always hot. So if it ever gets cold, in the sense of it's not sunny or overcast like today, at that point this will switch itself on, because these are thermostatic controls. So basically, let's just say it's 45 degrees, right? So this will only come on if the temperature is below 45 degrees, which is why you can leave it permanently on, because the solar water heater, in theory, will be permanently providing the hot water into this tank. So it goes in the one side, and then out the other side comes the hot. So this is sort of like your cold feed going in, but instead we'll have the hot feed going in, because you don't need hot and cold. It's literally taking cold and turning it into hot. So you'll basically feed that in there, so that becomes permanently hot. And then the hot feed out of that feeds your tap in the rest of the house, but it also means, I think that's a 50 litre tank. So you've got 210 litres of hot water realistically during the day. I won't say at night, because I don't know what the thermal capacity and ability is of the tanks going on the roof. Because obviously overnight it probably starts to cool down a bit, but this will then just top it up to the right temperature. So that's another thing we've done. That's the landlady and the president, and over there in the blue, president and his wife of the block we live in at La Mata, the other side. Funny thing is, they actually told April, "Oh, you're moving to that house," because they already knew. That's the thing here. We've got really good CCTV. It's the pensioners. Neighbours here are really great as well. That's why I'm sort of trying not to make noise at night or after siesta time. Well, during siesta time during the day, because Victoria next door, lovely woman, I think she's 87, and her sister must be nearly 90. Really friendly people, and the guy over here is, I think he's a professor and Victoria was a teacher. But neighbourhood's really cool. Everyone's chilled out, nice people. But I find that generally in the matter, there's nobody really annoying or obnoxious. Everyone just seems pretty easy going. Haven't had many questions this week. I did have somebody email me tonight around property rentals in La Mata. Is it worth it, you know, as a business, or getting somebody else to pay your mortgage? Well, realistically, I'm going to be doing it myself, because now I've got this one. The next thing on my list is the next one, because this is obviously going to be a home, but my expenditures at the moment is about 1,400 a month on rentals and mortgages. So once we've moved out of there, the apartment at the other end, the far end of the town, which is 2 minutes walk, I want to look at buying another property. That's the next thing on my list. I keep looking at cars and I'm thinking, don't waste your money on a car. You get a property, you can rent it out, you'll get enough to buy a car. Just take a little bit longer. And the other thing is, the Astra, since Harry has fixed it, it's working great. In fact, it's although its roof's blistered now because obviously it's been parked outside and whatever, engine wise, sound, the diesel DPF filter, diesel particle filter, isn't an issue. Catalytic converter is also brand new. There's no issues with that at all. It's just running really smooth. So I keep going, I'd like a new car, but I keep going, you don't deserve one. you spent £3 fixing this one, leave it alone. Got to keep it at least another year now to justify it. So yeah, so I think we'll be buying another apartment. Now the other question is, what size of apartment or house? Personally, I'd recommend a minimum of a 1 bedroom. Ideally, you want a minimum of 2 bedroom. But I know realistically that a lot of people's budgets don't stretch that far. But at the same time, I find it's not difficult to get places rented out here in La Mata. Don't get me wrong, winter time, it's quiet, but so's the rest of the world. But I think even then, if you lowered your rents, if you had to, you know, say somebody wanted to do the same November, December, January, February, they would probably just about pay your mortgage, but they will cover your bills as well. So even in the winter months you could do it, or get long-term tenants in for 5 years, whatever, and if they're good, you get no hassles. I mean, it's like I said, Denise has recently gone back, but she was a great tenant. And generally we've had no problems. Now don't get me wrong, I think there has been some issues around evictions and bad tenants with others, and if you read up on it, you'll see how bad it is trying to get people removed in Spain. It's not an easy job to do, but I'll let you do your own research on that. But myself, I think if you do enough research and you're comfortable with somebody, you're not going to have too many problems. I mean, we scrutinise quite a lot because we're sticking our name to it, which is why the properties we look after, people generally leave them with us, you know, in the sense of just send us a check every month, don't really want to know too much. because we look after them. You know, it's like if there's a problem with a socket or something like that, we'll just change it and send the bill. It's a bit like Arif, not Arif. Arif's my friend down in Milton Keynes in the UK. Arif and Alison. But we generally find that people trust us with properties. So it's like Angelique's at the moment. As an example, the way we are is they've got quite a small TV, but Denise has left 2 larger TVs. So we're actually going to take one and put it in Angelique's. So she's got a larger TV free of charge. Because to be fair, we don't need another TV. But first thoughts is who else needs a TV? So we'll send one over there. But yeah, I mean, I don't see the market changing too much. If anything, it's very doom and gloom, the media stuff. But I was saying to my wife earlier, I do a comparison to the 80s, because it's funny, we've been watching a lot of 80s stuff lately. And even like the whole Feed the World and Aid for Africa type stuff. It wasn't moan. They actually went and had concerts and did something about it. Where today, there's too much moaning, asking other people to do something about it, rather than saying, let's do something about it, or I'll do something about it. I think that's a big shift culturally. Because you know, you've got Live Aid and all that stuff before. We don't seem to do the same sort of stuff, and the media today seems so focused on very few stories. Yeah, so it's nice to actually come hit somewhere like this where it is fairly positive. I mean, you can see it over here. I don't know if the kids are adults, but because we have a few people playing football over there. It's the old Pikayu Park. But there's always something going on here. Like the summer schools are very good with the kids. You know, Sunday they swim, do all sorts from dancing to. He doesn't do dancing. Zoe's more the dancing type. But they have like martial arts events, swimming events, cycle events. You name it. In this area, there is a lot spent on activities for the kids. And it's really good, you know, family-wise. Tourism-wise, the same. I mean, this time of year, this should be quiet now. It should be starting to die off. But the place has been really, really busy. I mean, it's a bit quieter today. But for the last week or so, I've been struggling to get parking space here and at the other end of town. At the other end is even worse. You know, there's a lot of illegal parking goes on the other end because there's simply nowhere to go. I mean, Pinot Noir sort of sits, it's sort of like a development between La Mata and Guadamar. I haven't had to do it this year, touch wood. But previously I've had to go up to Pinot Noir and walk back, which is probably about a 5-minute walk back to the house from the next development, because there's been no parking this end of town. So just bear that in mind with all the negative media going on and all doom and gloom. There's still a lot of people having a great time on holiday. I will say that Spain vaccine program's really, really strong, although we're all private healthcare, so irony being that because you're private, you're sort of left to the bottom of the list because you pay for your healthcare. Yeah, at the same time, if you can get free healthcare, you can go and get it tomorrow. Weird, but they won't let you have it if you haven't got your SIP card, which is the Spanish health card, which we don't, because we pay private healthcare and don't need the state system. But I haven't seen too much negative stuff on the Brexit side, from life here. I know there's been people going back, or not sure whether to go back, or not sure whether to retire. My personal view is just do what you want. Simple as that. The world will always adapt, so you can change things. You know, if you have to come here and say, oh, you can only stay for X days or whatever, okay, well, what do I need to make that happen? Everything has an ability of flexibility in it, unless you're dealing with UK immigration, that's another story. But generally, I find that you can achieve most things if you want to make it happen. And I mean, Arena and Keenan are recent arrivals in the matter, and they're already finding it really great here. I won't talk about too much. I'm not mentioning the cockroach incident from yesterday, because that's for Keenan to update on that one. But the environment here is very laid back. You find the average age here is over 60. I mean, I'm not going to turn the camera around, but you either got the kids and their parents were in Madrid, Barcelona, whatever, and then the grandparents are predominantly here, or brought the kids on holiday. But you do find that I think that influences how relaxed the area is as well, because a lot of this daily stresses of life most people haven't really got, or not in the volume that you would get, say, in the UK, because most of these houses, let's face it, were bought in the 80s, so not many have probably still got any mortgages on them. They've already paid for them years ago. Most of the people here are already retired or semi-retired. Financially, they're not out splurging cash, so they're relaxed, and they're in a relaxed area. It's just a great place to live. The other side of this being the internet. We're not talking 100 meg internet, we're not talking 300, we're not talking 600. You're talking 1 gig internet here for about the same price as you're paying for about, I think, 25 meg in the UK. It's nuts. So the infrastructure's here to work remotely. Cost of living's cheaper. Don't get me wrong, if you're in the UK, you've got that lovely NHS that people say, oh, that free NHS. It's not free. It comes out your contributions every single paycheck. They just don't have a line that says NHS. It's called National Insurance and Tax. But ultimately, you probably find there isn't a lot on what you'd be paying in the UK to here, pound for pound, on your taxes. I know some people will grumble against it, some people will say, oh yes, you know, I'm actually better off here. My personal view is I do find it better off here financially. So I do find the education's good for the kids. I do find there's a lot of the food quality is better, not just what we go out and eat. You know, I'm not talking about restaurants. The supermarket's really good. Mercadona have started doing fast food. Who knows, it's just suddenly got darker there. Mercadona have started doing fast food, and I would say they're even just their hamburgers, their quality just leaves some of the food chain stuff. You know, I'm not saying the King or the Mick, but the quality of Mercadona's burgers is far superior, and you can instantly just bang, completely different taste. Quality is fantastic for what it is, but generally all the food is good. It's don't get me wrong, if you want to go to the tourist restaurants where a lot of people are focused on price, you ain't going to get the best, but on average it's better than you'll get in most places. You know, cost wise, the quality is just better. But I do find, I just find it better. I don't know what, it's hard to explain unless you've done it. I know you get people grumbling from the UK side about it, but it just is. I'll say the healthcare is good here, private or state. Cost of private healthcare is reasonable. I find it reasonable. We pay about 130 a month. Private dental care is reasonable. I think it's 175 euros a year for 2 people. Car insurance I find reasonable, and it's insured the car, not the person, which means when somebody in your family passes their test and they're past, say, let's just say past 25, they're not suddenly an extra cost to you, adding them to your insurance, because there's the car that's insured, not the person. I find the cost of the road tax and stuff reasonable. Now I found a decent mechanic. I'm happy with the mechanics, but ironically he is not Spanish. But the mechanics I've had have been absolutely abysmal. So it's good to actually get some good quality work done. I do find that the builders here are pretty good, but I mean, Andreas is doing building work now and they're having a lot of positive feedback. Obviously Igor's very good, to the point he's stupidly busy at the moment. I think he's fully booked till about February, probably March at the moment, to the point I'm starting to itch to start doing stuff myself on the house, which I'm trying to avoid, because I had a bit of a health scare a couple of months back, so April's not keen on me lifting anything heavy. So I'm being cautious and precautious. I'm taking precautions and cautious. But yeah, and I know there's a few people wanting to meet up as well. If you bump into me, and I know some of you guys have been over at the restaurant over the road, could you message me? Because a few people have been over here and sort of said, oh, we've been past your house. If you see me, just give me a wave or give me a shout. Just remember that it's one way though. You know who I am, but I won't have a clue what you look like, or, you know, because I've had this so many times where people have like spoken to me because they watch the videos and don't realise I have no idea who they are because they've never spoken to me in life before. So some people have actually turned around and they're having these conversations. I'm like, really, I have no idea who you are. And then it's like, oh yeah, I started following your channel because some of the earlier people, and I say earlier, they started following me in 2008, when I was doing stuff out in the Philippines, and some of those people I never even knew about till about 2014. And then somebody go, oh yeah, I went to the Philippines because the advice you give, I experienced stuff, and I'm like, never spoke to you before, you never messaged me, you never said, oh, you know, literally something got our paths crossed, and then it's just like, oh yeah, you know, you're right about the Philippines, you know, went there, experienced it, life-changing experiences. And I'm like, it's good to get some feedback, you know. It's nice to actually hear people say, it changed my life, or you're right. I mean, I'm not interested in the criticism, because the point with this, the whole channel is I'm not saying that my life is right against anyone else's. I'm saying this is how we live our life. And I know lots of people will say, yeah, we've done it, we agree with you or whatever. In the same way you'll get people that will say, oh, they want to live in a concrete jungle, which I do find peculiar, because the matter's not a concrete jungle. It sits between there, lovely beach, literally on the doorstep, and obviously the salt lakes over there. Then you've got the sand dunes down there, and then you've got the sand dunes down there. It's not a massive development. You've got, I mean, everything that green is in walking distance. Obviously there's a park right opposite as well. But people are entitled to their opinions. I don't, you know, they want to live, I don't know, in Andalusia or out in the mountains somewhere. That's their choice. For me, not interested. I've lived remote before, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But like here, good healthcare, good education, good infrastructure, good airport access, reasonably priced houses, good neighbours, good food, great beaches. Very little negative for me here. In fact, very little I can even think of negative. Because like I said, even with the bad mechanic stuff I've had, we're over that. Reality is we've got a decent mechanic, and I think Denise has found a decent mechanic as well before she went back to the UK. So point being is, you overcome. You know, that's the thing, is not to get frustrated, to just go, okay, fair enough, move past it, on to the next, and just keep pushing on. Like I said, I'm just waiting for Eagle to start here, but if he doesn't, I'll just carry on with what I can do and get him to pick up the other bits later. Because putting that door in, I can wait till even January. I was hoping that we'd get a price for doing the work up here, but it's moving a bit too slow. I don't think we're going to be done before October, the end of October. So if it's not done, so what? Still be moving in. It just means that this will just be sat here till the weather improves. They definitely don't want it opening up over the Christmas. It can wait, but we'll get there. Keep positive and moving forward. So it's all good. Nothing to complain about, that's for sure. Kids are happy, wife's happy. Already talking about our next trip to Barcelona, because that was fantastic. Really had a great time in Barcelona. Highly recommend it. But beyond that, really happy with things. Thanks for watching.